going to add value. It's going to keep guys like that. It's going to be hard.
Here we go. Preseason game number 2. And Tom Kennedy back to receive the kickoff for the Lions. Washington won the toss and deferred.
Just need to see a little bit more consistency. So great opportunity for these two guys to show what their coaches what they can do.
Play action, flag down, and Dobbs gets leveled. He loses the football. It's down on the ground, rolling into the end zone, and it's batted around, and it looks like picked up by Washington for a touchdown, Commanders. Amik Robertson knocked it free, and Joshua Josephs got on top of it for the score. We'll check the marker.
Yeah, and it's going to be on the Lions, so that's going to stand. It looked like either illegal formation.
Illegal formation against the offense. The left tackle is uncovered. That penalty is declined. The play results in a touchdown.
So everything you talked about at the outset, control of the football, no turnovers, and then the offensive line here sees a big hit on Dobbs.
Yeah, and that just can't happen. I don't know if that was a miscommunication. First of all, you can't line up incorrectly if you're, I'm not sure who they called it on, either a wide receiver or the tight end, but that's going to drive coaches crazy. Alignment is always the first key, and then certainly the protection, not good. That was our key to the game, Jason. Number 1, ball security. Turn the ball over, sack, fumble, touchdown. That's a tough way to start a game. Dan Campbell's not going to be happy with that penalty either.
Not at all. I mean, 51 seconds in. I mean, that's the thing about these preseason games, though. You learn, right? You learn, you fix it or you don't. And if you don't, you're probably not going to, whoever, you know.
You got to learn fast.
Get evaluated positively, which leads to decision time in a week plus. Extra point for Drew Stevens is good. It is 7-0. Dan Campbell trying to figure out what happened.
Yeah, he's frustrated because, especially on the second play of the game, I mean, you go over, I know you don't spend the entire week in the preseason game planning and breaking down the opponent and, hey, we really want to focus on, we can expose them in these areas. It's more about yourself. But with that being said, the first usually 10 to 12 plays are going to be scripted. You go through walkthroughs, you sit in meetings, you talk about, hey, where do we have to be, alignment, execution. To have not only an alignment issue on the second play of the game, I guarantee that's what he's most upset about right now. And then obviously with the sack, fumble, look, turnovers are going to happen. Devastating ones where it turns into 7 points for the other team are the ones that are really going to hurt you. Obviously,
for sure, but you know, turnover margin can fluctuate year to year. You saw what the Bears did and how successful that made them last year. But it's why you isolated that as a main point to watch today, because it's a signal of other things.
It could be the key to the game every single time you take the field. Turnover battles. That's the number 1 things that every coach is going to talk about when you hit that meeting room on Monday or Wednesday. Who took care of the football? Who took it away? That normally determines who's going to win most of the time.
Tom Kennedy to the 28. All right, re-rack it.
Here we go.
If you're on the offensive line here after that start, where does your mind have to be, TJ?
Well, we got to communicate a little bit better. I don't think there was a blown assignment, so to say, on that last play. It's just maybe some guys, you know, losing an edge and getting beat one-on-one. But it's got to be, okay, guys, sharpen up now. Okay, this is real. This is not practice, right? And for a lot of these guys, it's their first snaps getting in a year, right? You know, you look at Tate Ratledge and Juice Scruggs. These guys didn't play last week, so it's got to be a little bit of a wake-up to we got to get going.
Dobbs on the roll. He will throw, and he's got his first completion to the sideline. It is Brock Wright, tight end.
And just, I like Drew Petzing coming back with a play-action pass. A little counter pull the right guard, Tate Ratledge out, show those linebackers a little bit of action, try to slow their eyes down, and good to see Brock Wright healthy again, too. I know they're going to count on him a lot. They really missed his blocking ability when he got injured in the second half of the season last year.
70 career catches, certainly the blocking as well, as Sailors on the run on second down to the second level, driving the pile, and he will be about a yard short of that first down marker based on the far side official. This offensive line, talking to Dan Campbell about Ratledge in his second year, Blake Miller, who he feels like had no choice but to get better against touch. over and over and over again.
That's a tough battle. When you're going against a guy like Aiden Hutchinson, I had to do it early in my career going against guys like, Clay Matthews and Aaron Campman, who was an incredible defensive end, and they're just valuable reps. You can't get too high, you can't get too low, but he said he loves Blake Miller's ability to rebound after maybe a bad snap or maybe a bad play or maybe a bad series against Hutch. He's going to make a lot of guys look bad, Jason. Nice pick up there. I like the little QB sneak.
You like a
wake
good
him up
sneak?
a little bit. Yeah, wake him up a little bit. Tee off. You hear once the quarterback gets under center and you hear that one code word, whatever it is, man, you are just flying off that ball. So it's kind of a wake up point a little bit where you can't avoid contact on those quarterback sneaks.
For the receivers too, Isaac Tesla was engaged in his block from 2 seconds after the play there, as well as Jabari Small, the former Tennessee Volunteer, gets the carry out of lovely Memphis down in Tennessee. As we know about Jahmyr Gibbs. Isaiah Pacheco is still dealing with the injury, but there is some room in the running back area for who's going to be that 3.
No doubt. And Jacob Sailors was a guy that impressed enough last training camp to earn himself a spot on this team. And you're going to need 3 guys. You're going to need maybe 4 or 5 guys. We've seen that the last couple years. I know Craig Reynolds is no longer here, but he's a guy that they relied on in the last couple years to pick up some of those snaps when your top 2 guys start to wear out.
Dobbs down the middle, a little too much for Tay Martin, who's opened some eyes in training camp, and it'll be 3rd down for the Lions.
I couldn't tell if that was maybe rushed or maybe Tay Martin. Oh man, yeah, I think if he's going to watch that replay, if you want to nitpick, looked like he ducked a little bit. Sometimes we know that's a dangerous area of the field when you hear those safeties coming down. I think that's one that Tay Martin's probably going to look back and say, hey, I got to go make a play for my quarterback.
Especially if you're trying to draw attention in a training camp.
No
as
doubt.
It's 3rd down and 6. Washington brings 4. Line holds up. Dobbs on the roll. He sets, throws across his body. It is intercepted. Picked off to midfield by Quan Martin. Man, it feels like 24 again. He had that pick 6 2 years ago, last time they were here.
Yeah, and let's take a look at it. I thought the initial protection was pretty good, pretty solid. Josh Dobbs didn't see his first read open. That's dangerous when you throw late across the middle.
The Commanders, good old number 5, Jaden Daniels from midfield. Former Heisman Trophy winner rolls to his right and throws under pressure. He had to bail and get rid of it. Devin White was closest to him.
Yeah, nice little pressure there. Devin White going to come on the inside. Derek Moore, look at like the bull rush there, right? Collapse the pocket. Don't give Jaden Daniels. It's so tricky to rush against quarterbacks like this because if you make one wrong move and you let up that edge, you let up that contain, he can really hurt you with his feet. I love the pressure there from Kelvin Shepard sending Devin White right through the A-gap to really not give Jaden Daniels any options.
8th-year man out of LSU, Devin White, a veteran in this league, former 5th overall pick by Tampa Bay. Play action for Daniels, under pressure again. He is swallowed up all the way back at the 39-yard line. DJ Wanham crashed in.
That's a heck of an awareness play from DJ Wanham on the backside. He's not going to bite on the play action. He finds a little crease there, beats the tight end, and that's what you have to do as a defensive end in this league. If you want to be a big-time player and put a lot of respect on your name, you have to absolutely refuse to be blocked one-on-one by a tight end. That's a matchup that you love. Great recognition there from DJ Wanham on the backside. Also a little pressure coming from the edge as well to force Washington into a really 3rd and long situation here.
30 career sacks for DJ Wanham. There is a pedigree there as they will run it. Katron Allen, the former Nittany Lion, will get some of it back to the original line of scrimmage plus a yard. All right. I mean, it's football season, so I'm supposed to ask you decision time. Are you going for it?
Not on 4th and I think it's 9, maybe just shy of 10. Call it a 9.5. But no, I think, well, if you're Washington, if this is regular season, you think you're feeling pretty good about your defense right now with 2 takeaways
for sure
in 7 plays, I think it is. So
I just haven't gotten to ask somebody that in a while. Are you going for it? If I ask Andy Dirks that, he'll look at me very confused.
He'd be a little bit shocked.
Tress Way, the 3-time Pro Bowler, to boot it away for Kennedy off a fair catch at the 10. It's a 39-yard punt, no return. DJ Wanham drives the Commanders back, and the Lions will have it after this.
A lot of fans are going to have fun on that trip. Get something going here on offense.
Josh Dobbs will hand it off for Jabari Small, who breaks a tackle and drives forward to the 21-yard line. They rip the ball late. It was a missed tackle by Leo Chenal, who just came over from Kansas City.
And nice job by Blake Miller on the backside there, digging out the 4 technique. It's really hard sometimes to run on a 3-4 defense between the tackles, just because there's so many bodies in there. You have to funnel it to the middle linebackers, but the double teams are so important, and you're always going to have a one-on-one, whether it's front side or back side. That time, really nice job by Blake Miller sealing off that defensive tackle in the back.
They'll run to his side again. He played 3,778 snaps at Clemson. That's a Tigers record all time. He also didn't miss a game in 4 years of high school football. So he's a rookie, but he plays all the time.
Yeah, well, that's good for really 2 reasons. Is you can stay healthy, right, if you're playing that much football, and second of all, the experience that comes with it, and to be able to play right tackle. Look, especially in high school and college, a lot of the top guys play left tackle, but for Blake to be that right tackle and still be the caliber of player he is, I know they're super excited with what they've seen from him throughout the first couple weeks of training camp.
Out of empty, Dobbs to throw, quick set, got it complete to the 26, and it'll set up 3rd down once again. Cedric Wilson Jr. there. The draft class, Miller #1. We've talked about Derek Moore. Skylar Gill Howard, the 6th-round pick out of Texas Tech, has drawn some rave reviews from Dan Campbell.
You can't go a day without Dan Campbell mentioning Skylar Gill Howard and the effort that he plays with, and not only in practice but preseason. He said the favorite play he had against Cincinnati last week, was Skylar Gill Howard chasing down the quarterback on a 3rd down to force a punt and get the ball back to his offense. He's a guy that's creating a lot of rave reviews. Nice catch.
Good blocking up front too. Wilson again. The former Boise State Bronco, a gain of 17 and a Lions 1st down.
And you mentioned it, Jason, starts with the protection. Josh Dobbs, he knows he's got a one-on-one with his guys all across the board, finds Wilson across the middle. Really nice job by Josh Dobbs. I know he can frazzle a lot of quarterbacks where, hey, sack, fumble, touchdown. Then you come back and it's interception. Okay, there's nothing we can do about that. Put it behind you. How can you rebound? How can you keep moving this thing forward? That's a really good job by Josh Dobbs, and just staying in that pocket and delivering a good football for a big conversion. Man.
That was an attempt at a pickup of the blitz by Sailors. He got blown up.
Yeah, I don't know. Somebody's down. It looks
Wilson
get up. Wilson
is hobbling off. Cedric Wilson, who just had the 17-yard catch for a 1st down. Now,
boy, I'm not sure if Sailors really saw this pressure from the edge, but he does what he has to do, and man, that's it happens to the best. That happens to the best. But you know what? He slowed him down a little bit. He didn't draw a holding call and hurt the team even more. And that's it's going to be a play that you're going to chuckle at when you see it tomorrow. But it happens to everybody.
Put your body there. At least you put your body there. There's not an Olay situation. That was Tyler Owens who got into Sailors.
It's never fun when that happens, but it happens to everybody.
You're laughing because you know the feeling.
It's happened to me a ton.
Sailors, little sidestep and right back at it. After that play, he picks up 7 and sets up a 3rd down and 3.
And just a little nice dual play, just running right between the tackles, and you got to hold up on those one-on-ones if you're on that offensive line. At that time, Blake Miller actually fell down, but the awareness to pop up and still finish the block is what allowed Sailors to hit that backside cut to gain some positive yards to set up a very manageable 3rd down here.
It's all those snaps he's taken. Miller,
a lot of experience.
3rd and 3 off the mesh. It is Dobbs. He carves the lane, and he is out of here.
There you go. There you go. A little creativity there on 3rd down. A little read option. Going back to college days, defensive end bites down. Josh Dobbs says, I'll take it. Great job blocking on the outside, too. I couldn't tell who the wide receivers were, but Those plays like that don't happen unless you can get that blocking on that second level. That's a good bounce back, Jason. That's a very good bounce back for this offense. A bad start to the game, first 5 minutes. Hey, you want to throw those away. But, hey, we got to keep playing. We got to find a way to get some momentum. And sometimes plays like that, well, I know for sure, plays like that are going to wake not only that offense up, but that entire sideline. That's good time. That's big-time play.
That's the veteran leadership, but also the intelligence of Josh Dobbs. They call him the Pastronaut because of his astronaut aeronautical history and his major in college. But Dan Campbell loves how cerebral he is.
We saw a read option last week on the 2-point conversion with Luke Altmaier. You get a little read option with Josh Dobbs. Think we're going to see much out of Jared Goff this year? We'll see. Close to me, let go of the hands, but blocks like that are where you get those big plays from. Great job.
Sam Hartman in at quarterback for Washington. He'll hand to Kaytron Allen. So 1 series for Jaden Daniels. But on the subject of Tay Martin, Dan Campbell brought him up as one of the guys who has stood out, especially on the edge blocking, especially as a possibility in a special teams role like that as well.
Yeah, and they love his frame too. He's 6'3", he's got some size. He can make some plays, one-on-one, go get those 50-50 balls. And Coach mentioned him a couple times yesterday when we spoke to him about guys that have stood out. And he's got a great chance to have a good game here today and keep building that resume when you're trying to make this roster.
3rd and short. Your players to watch brought to you by MGM Grand.
Yeah, no surprise. Derek Moore, 2nd-round pick. Didn't get to see him last week. There's been a question for a couple years now. Hey, what does that defense, that position look like outside of Aiden Hutchinson? Excited to see him. And then obviously Rocky C. They're going to count on him big. A lot of changing parts in that secondary. He had a really solid year last year. I felt like on that outside spot. He's a guy that can bring some versatility and some competitiveness to that secondary group.
Moore breathing fire at the bottom of the formation. And here is Hartman on the run. He has a lane and he slides to a stop. The former Wake Forest and Notre Dame standout moves the sticks for Washington, who finished 5-12 last year. A disappointing season after their 12-5 the year before. They had so many injuries to so many veterans last season.
Yeah, and important positions too, right? Obviously, anytime you lose your quarterback for an extended period of time. And Dan Quinn's a heck of a coach, man. I played against his teams, when he was a defensive coordinator in Atlanta and in Dallas for a long time. He gets the respect of his guys. Reminds me a lot of Dan Campbell, guy that players like to play for.
Kaytron Allen twisting and turning into DJ Wanham, among others, to set up 2nd down. And we talked about it earlier, but David Blau, the offensive coordinator for Washington now, does have ties to Dan Campbell. His last year, Blau's last year here was Dan Campbell's 1st year. So there's a knowledge base, at least, in this game.
No doubt. And a lot of familiarity, I would say, too. David Blau, coordinators, ex-players, you normally take what you learn from coaches that you played under, right? So Coach said we're going to see a lot of familiar concepts. Oh,
Hartman gets undercut. There is a flag down. It's back in the secondary.
Man, that's a shame. It's going to be a defensive holding, which is going to take that sack off the board.
Skylar Gill Howard got in there to blow it up, man.
And he's celebrating. I don't think
holding
might not know the flag.
Number 28, 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic 1st down.
I didn't see a live, but
it's on Keith Abney.
Keith Abney Jr. Yeah, and he's a competitive guy. Coach talks about, man, how sticky he can be in coverage. There's just such a big learning curve sometimes with guys in that secondary about what you can and what you can't get away with. As you get more reps, you're going to learn how to be a little bit more sneaky on hiding some of those penalties.
There's a run for Robert Henry Jr. He and Allen both scored last week as the Lions defense celebrates with a host of tacklers in there, including DJ Reed from the corner spot.
And I think one thing that stood out to me last week, Jason, was watching all these guys in the secondary, corner, slot, safety. The way that they were flying to the football in the run game, that's non-negotiable if you're Kelvin Shepard and Dan Campbell. If you want to play in the secondary for this defense, you have to be able to tackle. So it's no surprise to a little early movement there. No surprise to see the defensive backs get involved in the run game early today.
Offense through 85. 5-yard penalty.
It's on Chig Okonkwo, who came over on a 3-year deal from Tennessee. So now 2nd and 16. It's a little fun here play calling wise.
For the offense or
for
defense?
The defense.
I was going to say, it's not fun being on offense.
No. You keep that.
Yeah, and Kevin Shepherd's brought some pressure so far today. We've seen multiple times, whether it's bringing, a slot guy off the slot or bringing the linebackers through the A-gaps. And this is one, though, as a defensive lineman, you probably love. You're thinking, hey, maybe draw, maybe screen, antenna's got to go up. But first thought is, let's get to the quarterback. This is not usually a running down.
Hartman down the middle, and he's got a completion across the 40-yard line. Hartman zips it to Okonkwo.
Devin White, he's had a couple tackles already. Man, I'm so excited about the possibilities that he can have on this defense. Just not only his reputation, his record, what he had. You're looking at 2 of the top 3 tacklers in the NFL last year were Devin White and Jack Campbell. So the idea of having those guys side by side, making some big tackles for you in the run game, being able to cover in the pass game, it's exciting.
Super Bowl for him, a Pro Bowl for him. 17 starts last year. Hartman drops it off. He gets it to Reynolds, and a juggling grab for Craig Reynolds, who ends up out of bounds. It's a first down, Washington, on a gain of 8. Craig Reynolds, we know him from 5 years here in Detroit. They've had some injuries in the backfield, including Jeremy McNichols, so it necessitated another player and with what he can do out of the backfield.
And Craig Reynolds, I know Coach was bummed to have to let him go, but he's made he did a lot of good things here in Detroit, but he's just that steady guy. He can be third down. He can pick up, like we just saw, whether it's catching passes out of the backfield or picking up blitzes on third down to protect the quarterback. He is just a solid player.
Hartman play action.
Nice.
It's a screen, and it is doused. Absolutely blasted immediately on the catch by Avonte Maddox.
Oh, that's a big-time play. That's a big-time play from Avonte Maddox, and that's that veteran presence that you have. If he doesn't make that tackle, there was a lot of grass. You get caught with a blitz on a screen, normally doesn't end up well, but he gets there before that offensive line can get on the perimeter to get a block on him, and that's a nice play. Veteran presence, just that awareness that you have on a down like that, where they're probably throwing the ball.
Sets up 2nd down and 15. Hartman to throw. That's a long throw and a big hit immediately by DJ Reed on McCaffrey. That's Luke McCaffrey. There are McCaffrey skill position players everywhere.
Good genes.
Very good. Ed's son, Christian's brother.
Yeah.
Max's brother.
I think I played with Luke maybe. He's been in the league for a while. He was a practice squad guy in Green Bay when I was there, but hard-working guy, man. Here we go. Big opportunity. 3rd down. Go get the quarterback.
Got to get to the 41. They did get there. Hartman just got it off, and he hits De'Ami Brown, but Rock Yassin was right on his hip. They hurried Hartman and created a 4th down at the end of the first quarter.
Skylar Howard, a name we mentioned, it really gave Hartman no chance to find his 2nd or 3rd guy. Gets the pressure on the quarterback. Nice job getting off the field if you're that defense. Kevin Shepherd's going to be excited about that stop.